Let me show you what we do when we test drive your car. When we're doing transmissions, road testing is probably the most important tool that we have. First thing I'm going to do is start from a stop and get a nice moderate acceleration where I can count the shifts. 1, 2, 2, 3. The tachometer is showing us the engine speed, so revolutions per minute. And what the transmission does is that when we start out from a stop, we're in first gear. So you can see those RPMs come way up and it goes to next gear. We're in second gear now. This is only one piece of the diagnostic. It's going to be the road test. If we don't get any bad behavior from the car in a road test, the next place we're going, which we always do just as a matter of due diligence, is to scan the computer to see if there's any fingerprints in there, telltale signs of what could be going on. Everything comes into play. We're smelling if we smell burnt transmission fluid. We're also listening. I don't hear anything out of this car that's unusual or normal, but we're listening. We're also paying attention for things like brakes. I drive about 30 cars a week, so I know if there's anything that doesn't feel normal. And not only that, I drive all brands. So the road test is really going to give us a pointer. You know, which way do we want to go? Are we dealing with a noise? Are we dealing with a flutter on a shift? Are we dealing with a chatter? What are we dealing with? Are we dealing with a bad wheel bearing? Our initial basic diagnostic, we do a 3-mile drive. So that's a right, turning right out of the shop, a right on Price, a right on University. And we go to McClintock and make another right. I set it up so they're all right turns so that we don't have to make any left turns with a car. And that's the biggest chance of a car accident. One of the things, we'll drive these cars a little harder because when you accelerate hard, it forces the transmission to shift harder. It makes the shifts more pronounced, and it'll aggravate an issue with the vehicle. So this car is totally behaving itself. You know, a customer doesn't have forever and a day for me to have their car, so I need to, as quickly as I can, get to an answer. When we're coming up to a stop, we're also feeling for the downshifts. Most late model cars, you're not going to really feel the downshifts. And if you're feeling the downshifts and they're too noticeable, well, there might be a problem. You know, when a transmission slips, the tachometer, it's not really consistent with the noise that you're hearing or the progression of the vehicle accelerating. If the engine's lacking pep, well, that tells me something. Hey, you know what? Most of the transmission control is based off of engine sensors. So if I got an engine problem, well, that's going to mask itself as a transmission issue. In the old days, transmissions were thought of as a specialty. Hey, it's a transmission, go see the transmission guy. What I know is if I didn't know something about the entire rest of the vehicle, I wouldn't be able to fix transmissions. We can't treat it as a specialty anymore. And we have a checklist of things we go through, and that certainly helps us be systematic about it. But where the experience piece comes in is all those little ancillary details that will help us come to an accurate diagnosis.